Okay. 2 times 5 equals 10, yeah? Everyone agrees? No problem there, right? Now you got to think back to grade 3 with Mrs. Bad Crumble, and we've already done this a bit this year. These are factors, right? Because I multiply them together. This is a product. Everybody knows that, right? We don't need to have only 2 factors, right? We can multiply as many things together as we want, correct? We could go 2 times 3 times 5 and get 30. Is everybody good? Right? It's not complex. Just factors are what we multiply together to get a product. Yes? Now these are easy because they're all numbers, right? Now think back to the beginning of the radical unit. We were factoring, weren't we? We made those trees, right? So how did you make those trees? You had to divide the product, didn't you? If we had 30, we went, okay, well that's 2 times 15, and then we went 5 times 3. Oh, 2 times 3 times 5, got it. Everybody good? Division was involved, correct? Now, look at what I'm about to highlight. Those are just product. Those are just factors, aren't they? Why? Because what does this mean? In English, we are taking 4 and we are doing 4 times x minus 5, correct? That's what's happening there. And what's the answer? 4x minus 20, correct? Now you guys should be able to look at that right there and look at what I've highlighted and see what I did to get from there to there. What did I do? Sarah? Yeah, exactly. That's all this is 4x, 4 times x, minus 4 times 20. 4 times 5. Correct? There's the 4x, there's the 20. Agreed? Now, this is what we've been practicing already. This is called expansion. Now, just like everything in math, it can be done in reverse. When we expanded, we multiplied. So what are we going to do if I want to reverse this and get back to here? I have to divide, right? What I have to divide by is what is called the greatest common factor. And we have already done this year, haven't we? What is the biggest number that 4 and 20 share? 4, because 4 divided by 4 is 1. 20 divided by 4 is 5, right? So if I take 4x minus 20 and I divide it by 4, I get 4x and 4 cancels out. There's my x. And 20 divided by 4 gets me my minus 5. And you can see that one way gets expansion, and this way is what we call factoring. Okay? Everybody cool? Everybody cool? Okay. So now, what do I have there? Factors or a product? I have factors. What would we, up to today, what would we do with that? We would multiply it out. Can we use the shortcut? Yes or no? Yes. Why? Because it's just x's, correct? So when I multiply that out, I know it's x squared, and then what do I do with the 2 and the 4 to get the middle term? Add them to get what? 6x. And what do I do with the 2 and the 4 to get the last term? Multiply to get 8. Is everybody cool there? So there's my product. product, right? Now, if we were going to draw this, I'd have x and 4, wouldn't I? That's one factor. And down here, I'd have x and 2, second factor, right? And in the middle, I get x squared, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Please look and notice that this right here, if I can shape it into a rectangle, it automatically gives me the factors. Does everybody see that? I'm not going to make you do this very often. I use it to show you that this and this can be worked together. Okay? We're going to do some more with this in a minute, but first we're going to work some easy ones. All right? Because these ones are more difficult. Before I go on, though, I have to make sure that people understand what it means to factor. Now, up to now, we have done prime factoring, haven't we? 2 times 3 times 5. Right? Now we're going to do something slightly different. Factor this way means all the pairs of factors that work in this equation. X times y equals 12. So I need all the pairs of numbers, just pairs that will multiply to make 12. What is the first one? 12 and 1. 1 and 12 is the first pair of factors, because 1 times 12 is 12, right? What's the next one? 2 and 6. 2 times 6 is 12. What's the last one? 3 and 4. Everybody cool? Everybody okay? That's what factoring means now. Please be aware that that is different than prime factoring, correct? Everybody's okay? All right. So now, we're not going to do this one. We're going to take our 6x plus 3 and see if we can draw it out. Now, is this a product or factors right now? It's a product because it's one thing, right? So if we were going to factor with a picture, I'd need to make a rectangle, yes? So I would need to have that in a rectangle and that in a rectangle. What's the only way I can do that? Stop and think for a moment. What are the only ways I can break 6 up? I can do 6 and 1 or 2 and 3, can't I? What's the only ways I can break 3 up? 3 and 1. What's the common one? 6 and 1 and 2 and 3, and this is 3 and 1. What's the one I have to use? 3, right? So I have to take this 6x and break it up. So I've got 3 of them. Does everyone agree? Because this 3 can only be broken up that way. Did I make a rectangle? I did, didn't I? Is this rectangle this? Now you guys all told me this is a product, right? This rectangle is a product, and the product's in the middle, right? So where do the factors live? On the outside. How long is this section? That's 1, right? How long is this section? 1, right? How long is this section? 1. So what does that make? 3. How long is this section? What's that? X. What's that? X. What's that? 1. So the top part here is 2x plus 1, isn't it? It's very confusing, I know. Trust me. Now, do I have a product? Where is my product? In the middle. Where are the factors? On the side. So this is 3, that's one factor, times 2x plus 1, that's the other factor, gets me 6x plus 3. Is everybody cool with what we did there? We're never going to use it again. Okay, because I'm going to show you the smarter way to do this that requires you to be able to divide. Everybody cool with that? Like you don't have to be able to do it, but you see how it works, yes? Everyone? Okay, so now look at this. I know I have 6x plus 3, don't I? I know that's a product. My math teacher wants the factors. How do we find factors? What? What math do we use to find the factors? Divide. So I need something that will divide into both of these. What is it? We know it's 3. So I divide these both by 3. Right? What's 6x divided by 3? 2x. What's 3 divided by 3? 1. And then I put my division guy out here. And there I get the same thing. Okay? I show this to make sure that you understand what is actually happening. You had 6 unknowns. You had to break them down into groups of 3. Everybody cool? All right. Turn your page over and notice I'm asking you to draw it out one more time. If you can't do it, that's okay. Just watch. Here's how you think about it. Is this a product or a facts or factors? That's a product. So I need to make this into a rectangle. Yes? How many groups can I put 4 into? 1 and 4 or 2 and 2, correct? What can I put 6 into? So 4 is 1 and 4 or 2 and 2. 6 is 1 and 6 or 2 and 3. What's the biggest number that's in both groups? 2. So I have to do everything in blocks of 2, don't I? So 4x squared. How do I draw 4x squared? What's an x squared? It's the big guy, yes? And I need to have 4 of them in groups of 2. What's the only way to draw that? Does everyone agree? Everyone's cool with that, right? Okay. Now I need to put 6 x's in groups of 2. How do I draw 1x? It's the bar, right? And I need them in groups of 2. So I got to do that and that. Does everyone agree that I've made a rectangle? Is it the same down each side? So am I okay? So now how do I find the factors? Where do the factors live? On the side. And all I got to do is count. What's this edge? What's that? An x. What's that? An x. So how many x's is that? 2 x's. What's this side? What's this? What's this? 1, 2, 3. So what's this side? 2x plus 3. Everybody got it? Now what would I do to write this out? What are the factors? 2x times 2x plus 3. And if I distribute that, what do I get? 4x squared plus 6x. Everybody cool? Now again, Is there an easier way to do it if you know how to divide? Of course there is. 4x squared plus 6x. What's the biggest number that goes into both of them? 2. And is there a letter that goes into both of them? One single x, because this guy's got one x to give, right? So that's what's coming out. So I write that first, and then I just write the answer. 4x squared divided by 2x. 4 divided by 2 is 2. X squared divided by x, 2 minus 1 is 1x. 6 divided by 2 is 3, and the x's cancel out. Does everybody see? I only care that you can make one of these work. I am willing to bet $1 million that all of you get this, but you're going to tell me you don't get the drawing. And that's okay. You actually do get the drawing because this is dividing this into two groups, isn't it? Because there's one group right there, 2x plus 3, right? There's the other one, 2x plus 3, 2x's plus 3, and we had to multiply them twice. Everybody good? Everyone is okay? All right, now I'm going to do something a little weird here. We're going to come back to this guy later. Okay? So you guys turn over to page 107. And we're going to do 107 together as notes now while it's fresh in our heads. Okay? So this is what we just did. Greatest common factor means we divide the GCF out of the whole product. Where do you find the GCF? You have to find it. And I'm going to show you how easy it is in a sec. This is very important, and I need you to put a star by it, because this is the first thing you try in factoring. Always try this first before you do any of the other stuff I'm going to teach you. That's why I'm teaching this to you first. Okay? Product or factors? Product. So step 1, find the GCF. So what's the GCF here? What's the biggest number that goes into 5 and 5? 5. So step 1, find the GCF, which we did. It's 5. GCF equals 5. Step 2, divide what by the GCF? The whole thing. Divide the whole product. Whole product by the GCF. So step 2, we take this whole product and we divide by 5. Step 3, we write the answer. And the answer is always this. GCF, then a bracket, and then all your division answers. And here's what I mean. So let's rewrite this. What was our GCF? 5. So we write 5 bracket. Then we do all our answers. What's 5x divided by 5? X. Because 5 divided by 5 is 1, right? Now there's a plus sign. Plus, what's 5 divided by 5? 1. Is there any more division? So we're done. Now, the nice thing about factoring is you can always check if you did it right. How many of you guys do a problem and you're worried at the end if you've done it right? It's pretty normal in math class, yeah? But in factoring, you can always check. Is 5 times x 5x? Is 5 times 1 5? So did I do it right? Yes. And it's always, GCFing is always this easy. So let's look at number 2 here. Find the GCF. So what is the GCF of 6x and 3? It's 3. Rewrite it. Divide everything by 3 and write our answers out. What was our GCF? 3. What's the answer to the first division? 2x. What's the answer to the second division? 1. And I'm done. Can I check it? Is 3 times 2 6? Is 3 times 1 3? Easy peasy, right? Do you think anything changes as the exponents get bigger and letters are added? No, of course not. So let's look at this next one. What's the GCF? How do you know it's 3? Because 3 divides into 3, 3 divides into 12, 3 divides into 6, correct? So the whole thing is going to divide by 3, yes? And then I rewrite what goes on the outside of the brackets. 3, what goes inside the brackets. All the answers. What's 3x squared divided by 3? X squared. What's 12x divided by 3? Plus 4x. What's 6 divided by 3? Negative 2, because I had a negative there. It's not hard, right? Okay, look at the last one and tell me what is very subtly different. There's more than a number there, isn't there? What's the number that works with 4 and 6? 2. Is there a letter that works with both? X. How many X's? Why is it only one X? He's got 2. He's only got 1. So I can only have 1 there. So now I rewrite. What is the GCF that goes outside the brackets? Where did you get lost? Oh, a girl out there. Okay. Good. Well, not... You know what I mean. What goes outside the brackets? 2x. Why? Because it's the GCF. 2x. The number I'm dividing everything by. What goes inside? All the answers. What's 4 divided by 2? 2. X squared divided by x? X. 6 divided by 2? 3. X and x? 1, which we don't write. Can I check it at the end to make sure I did it right? Is 2 times 2 4? Is x times x x squared? Yes. Is 2 times 3 6? Is x times 1 x? So did I do it right? Everybody good? All right. We're going to do these 4 together, and then you guys are going to do page 108 on your own. But first we're going to do these. Decide on the GCF. Because it looks different now, right? So let's decide on the GCF. What's the biggest number that works? 5, right? Everybody agrees with 5, yeah? So everybody's going to get 5. Does everybody have an X? How many X's work? 1. Because this guy only has 1 to give, right? How many Y's work? Look closer. Why does Y not work? What's missing from middle guy? No Y. So can I use Y on the bottom here? No. Now I just follow what I know. What goes outside the brackets? 5x. What goes inside the brackets? All my answers. What's 25 divided by 5? 5. What happens to the x's? Cancel, and I'm left with a y, correct? What's the next one? 3x. Why is it 3x? Because I had 2 up there, but only 1 down there, so I can only cancel one of them, right? And what's the last one? Minus 6 xy squared. Is everybody cool? Okay. That is the hardest GCFing that we can do. Okay? Now here's the problem. A great many of you are going to say, oh, yeah, I got this, and think you've got it. And then we're going to do like 5 more kinds of factoring, and then you're going to forget this one if you think you've got it now. Do you understand what I'm saying? You've got to practice this a lot. Okay? So let's look at this one. What's the common factor? 2. Any letters? Why? Because the first guy doesn't have a letter, so I'm dividing everything by 2. So what goes outside the brackets? What goes inside the brackets? All my answers. I don't want to say them this time. What is it?
4 plus 5a plus 3a squared.
Any problem? No. I want you to do something here, though. Please highlight that for yourself and write an arrow here. This might factor again, but I haven't taught you how to do that yet. But you need to be aware that sometimes you have to do more than one factoring. Just like sometimes you have to do more than one adding or subtracting or multiplying and dividing in a question, right? Be aware that this is just the first step. Now, you guys, I want to say this out loud at all. I want every single person to tell me just the GCF by writing it down. Don't say it out loud. Everybody try to write down the GCF here. What are you going to divide by? I'm going to give you a second to think about it. The number's easy. The letters are harder. Okay. What's the number? That's an easy one. What's the letters? Why is it only C and D? I can see that there's 4 C's there. Because the last guy only has 1. Now, what goes on the outside? The GCF, and what goes in the middle? The answers. What's the first one? -4, C3, done. What's the next one? -6, C2, D. Done. What's the last one? -5. And that's it. Is everybody good? Now, the other thing you guys always screw up is I say factor these. And you come to here and you're like, yeah, I'm going to factor that. Is that factorable? No, why? Because there's no number that goes with 3 and 2, and there's no letter that's shared, is there? But a bunch of you will start going, divided by 6, I don't know, 6m. Because you think that it needs to be factored, because Mr. Meyer said factor it. If it can't be factored, do you factor it? No. So not knowing when you can't do something is also kind of important, right? If it doesn't factor, you just tell me it does not factor. Do you understand? Every so often, I will do this to you. I will put a question in that's already done to see if you are actually paying attention or if I have turned you into a trained monkey. Divide by understand? I don't want trained monkeys. I want smart young people. Okay? All right. I am going to shut up. It is 1:57. I believe that you have enough time to get page 108 totally done. But before we do that, I want to show you guys something. Don't turn the page over. Just look. You know how to factor with numbers, right? You know how to factor with numbers and letters, right? Everybody agrees? Okay. You can also factor with just letters. Okay? Let me show you what I mean. What if I gave you this? XQ plus XZ. Could you factor that? Why? Because X is in both of them. So what would you divide that by? X, and then what would your answer be? X, bracket, Q plus Z. Does everybody see that? Do I need numbers to factor? No. So when you get to number 3 on page 108 that has no numbers, are you going to be okay? I think you are. Go. Do page 108 right now. It should not take the 28 minutes you have left in class. It should take maybe 10. And then I'll show you the right answers. I lie. Do the top 4 on page 109 as well. Do 1, 2, 3, 4. Under B5, assignment number 1. I can. It will take me a few moments. Why don't you run down and get Georgia or somebody just to copy these 2 pages? Then you don't have to write it all out. Kate, hey, come here. I don't, you do the hard stuff right, and then you screwed up the stuff that
I know, my brother taught me.
No, this is exactly right. That, and that is perfect. Now all you got to do is add it up. 42a squared. There's no other a squareds, right? So it's 42a squared. 42 and 42a, so it's 84, right? Not a squared, because you're adding, right? And then plus 42.
Yeah.
That's it. Everything else.
If you can just like.
But wait a minute, then you start doing it right. You're an interesting cat, Brianna.
Right?
Okay.
Okay, but here's the thing. My brother kind of taught me when he was drunk last night. You can kind of tell because of his squiggly lines.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So 7n squared.
You still got it though.
Plus 49n plus 4n. Plus, now, see, this one you forgot the... Oh, no, there's the 28. You remembered it there. But there's no other n squareds because these n's don't get a square because you're not multiplying. You're just adding, right? It's like if I had one eraser and another eraser, I got 2 erasers, right? But if I had 4 erasers, I'd have to make a square, right? So that's all you're doing wrong. And then on this one, 32m squared.
Oh, correct.
And then this one you do perfectly. So here you start doing everything right.
Okay.
I don't know what happened here. And I don't know what you did after here to then start getting it right. But whatever you did here, do always.
Okay.
Whatever you did here that got you from doing it wrong to doing it perfectly, do that again.
Okay.
And then you will never have problems with math. Because this is correct. 30m squared minus 36 plus 20. Now, what's minus 36 plus 20? Negative 16, right?
Yeah.
Use your calculator to do the adding.
Oh yeah, Mr. Sager helped me on that. He just put it on a different piece of paper.
Yep. And then here, you just got to do it 3 times. 5x cubed minus 8x squared minus 6x. Now, this is what I like to do. That's why I like to stack. Because then, you're right, that's correct. But if I put it right over here with the other x squared,
Then it's easier to.
then I find it easier to add up at the end. When I was your age, I did it all in a line like this, and I would get confused. And then I was thinking from teaching it to kids, like, well, how could I not make kids confused? Well, I just put them together, right? But that looks right. And that looks right. Looks right. Now, with the letters, yes, 21xy and 8xy. See, if you'd stacked them, it would be 21 minus 8, which is 13. Yeah. Do what works for you. Don't make that mistake that kids in middle school make, that, you're not doing it the way the teacher did it, so I must be doing it wrong. No. If that works better for you, do it that way. Another thing I like to do when I was your age, what I did do that led me to this, is I would do this. I'd circle all the x squareds, and then the next thing that wasn't an x squared, I'd give it a different shape. And then, there's another xy, so I'm going to give it the same shape. And there's something that's totally different, so I'm going to give it that shape. And then I would just put all the shapes together. That's another thing I did, and that's what led me to the stacking. And then the rest of this looks okay. Now, when it's a triple, 3 layers. Exactly what you did. Is it right? 16k4, 8k cubed, minus 8k squared. Perfect. New stack. Yeah, now see, so this, if you'd slid it over here to be with the k's, you'd have negative 8 minus 24, which is negative 32. You're right. And then the squareds, negative 8 plus 12 is positive 4, minus, yes, minus 36, perfect. 12k and 20k is 32, and perfect. You got it.
And then I went to gym for the last.
No problem. Thank you.
In the gym, I normally do service, like on Fridays, and then on our last service, I came back out to the rotunda after school, and I still didn't have service. I went home, I still didn't have service. I didn't have service anywhere. I took my SIM card out, put in my sister's phone, and it said I had service. So it was my phone that had a problem with it, not the SIM card. So I was gonna put the SIM card in this phone.
Which one? For page 104 or whatever it is?
Tried to back up, like everything that was on the phone onto my computer, and then I was gonna put it on this phone, but I accidentally took all my mom's stuff that was backed up on my computer and put it on my iPhone 6.
Oh, I'm about to go over this. That's right.
Okay,
that's right.
All my photos and everything disappeared. I lost all my pictures, and now I'm using this.
I don't think you lost all your pictures. Have you looked on Google?
I definitely.
Google Drive?
I definitely did. Were you listening to my story?
Of course I was. You went out to the rotunda, you lost service, you came home, you put your SIM card in another. Of course you lost your stuff because stuff's not stored in the SIM card. But
no, I know.
If that's an Android phone,
no, what?
Is it an Android phone?
No, it's an iPhone.
Oh, then you're screwed.
I put all my stuff onto my computer, but I took all my mom's backed up stuff that was on my computer and put it on my iPhone.
Yeah, you're screwed.
I don't know how that happened. It was so weird.
Because
I looked up how to back up my phone, and I followed the instructions, and then my mom's phone got on my phone, and now I'm stuck with this phone, and my other one has nothing on it. I had to go to TELUS twice yesterday.
You should still be able to find it.
No, I can't. Like, I went there and I asked. I brought my laptop, I brought everything. I couldn't do it. So it's all gone, all my pictures and everything. Yeah, and now I'm using this tiny. And I was going to get a new phone, but it would cost like $500 that I do not have. But so I'm going to go to Apple, because it's not my fault what happened to my iPhone 6. Like, it just said I didn't have service anywhere. And it was a problem with the phone, not the SIM card. So it's really frustrating, and it's still recording. And so I'm gonna go try and go to Apple and be like, give me a new phone, but I don't think they will because I don't have Apple Care.
Yes.
And they only you only have like a warranty or whatever it's called for like a year, and I had my iPhone 6 for like a year and a month.
I'm going to draw the picture because I know that many of you hate doing it and aren't very good at it. But again, just remember, you got to make groups.
not the SIM card. So otherwise I would have gotten a new SIM card. But like, yeah, I have to go to Guildford one day this week to talk to Apple, but I feel like they'll say no. And if they do, I guess I'm stuck with this phone for now.
What is that?
This? It's an iPhone 5. I had a 6. This one's fine.
The 6, they should still replace your 6.
Yeah, they should. It's just like I don't have Apple Care, so they might not.
You what?
Don't have Apple Care?
Oh.
If they don't like you, Guy tells me like, yeah, they might do it, but like it's probably they probably won't.
You never know. Cry.
Otherwise,
I'm not lying. Cry.
Yeah, I'll start.
Find the youngest looking guy there at the Apple store and cry. No, I'm not joking. Old guys don't know what to do with crying women. Young guys really don't know what to do with crying women. Go and cry.
If not, I can't be stuck with this. This is so slow, it doesn't even work. Like, barely.
Just
Cry. If they say no, I have to get...
that will work fine if you factory reset it.
This?
Yes.
It's super slow.
But that's because it's filled with crap. Back it up.
I've tried backing up an iPhone.
Listen to me. Go into iTunes, back it up, do a factory reset, and then bring your backup back on.
That's what I was going to try to do with my iPhone 6.
The reason it's running slow is when you go on iTunes, it'll make a graph at the bottom, and it'll show what's on your phone, and there'll be a giant section called Other. That section is garbage. Everything your phone has to do, it has to plow through all that other stuff first. And Apple is the only company that does that. Android phones don't have that other category. On Android phones, you can hit one button and it'll clean all that off. Apple doesn't let you do that. You have to back it up, erase your phone, and then load it up again without those others. It's a super pain in the ass. But it'll fix up your phone.
Well, I'm just worried about doing the same thing again when trying to back it up. Like, my mom tried to help me, and that's what happened. So, but neither of us can do it. So maybe I'll have to go to TELUS and pay them to do it.
Go to TELUS, or not even TELUS, go to the App Store, it doesn't matter. Take yourself a nice big thumb drive, whatever the phone is, probably a 16 gig, maybe a 32, whatever it is. Take a thumb drive that big for $16, back it up onto that thumb drive with one of their computers. You'll be fine. All right, can we go on with this, guys? Have people done? Not quite yet? People need a few more minutes? I got a few more minutes. Yep.
Yeah. They just walk in and be like, start freaking out. I'll just walk in and start yelling at everybody. Yeah, no. Start throwing stuff. Yeah. Start smashing the phone. Yeah. And stuff. I think I get him a little bit of trouble. Just walk in and be like, start like panicking.
Look, you somebody thought you were
I try to put my another phone to erase everything on my phone, and all I do is you're crying. It's just like, I'm so sad I lost all my pictures. Like, I was crying yesterday, and I didn't feel good. I woke up, and some days I wake up, and if I feel nauseous, then I just need more sleep. That's all that means. Like, I get fuzzy and stuff when I stand up, and so, but I didn't get to go back to bed because I needed my phone so
And
I
I'll let
could
you all
do
know
stuff
that
that
this
day.
entire unit,
But
you will always know
I
if
didn't
you've
get a
done it
nap
right
or
or not, because
anything.
you can
I
always
didn't get enough sleep
multiply
last
it
night,
back
so I
at the
still
end.
feel pretty bad today.
So you
and
will
I
know
should
if you've
have
made a mistake.
Yesterday, yeah.
Yes.
At least I have
Oh,
my
right,
memories from
Sean.
Snapchat, but like,
Oh, I already
yeah. But like, I don't have like a good background picture because
Well, you're
it's just
missing
my
the
Snapchat
X's.
memories that I have.
And no, because it's -3 plus 5, 8. And -3 times +5, +15. No. See, that's what I mean. That's why I don't like showing the shortcut. I always cave and I show it to you. But it's because I foolishly believe that you practice it the long way long enough to earn the shortcut. So practice the long way long enough to earn the shortcut. Can I do the first four? Can I do the first four? Cole?
Yes.
Can I help you? Is it after the first four? You need help with one of the first four? Great. I'm going to do that right now. So, what is my GCF here? 3xy. Only one of each. So 3xy goes on the outside, and the middle is just all the answers. 9 divided by 3 is 3. X squared divided by x is x. Y divided by y is gone. Plus 5y minus 6 x cubed y to the fourth. Is everybody good? Yay! Now, guys, I don't mind telling you this. This is kind of the beginning of, like, math. Up until now, you've been really doing arithmetic. Yes?
Is this 5y right there? Is it
No, because the x's canceled out. Oh, okay. Yeah. All right. What's this guy's greatest common factor? 11? Okay. 11. Shut it, foo. Shut it for a sec. 11x what? Squared. Is everybody happy with 11x squared except L? Is everyone happy with 11x squared? Okay. So that's going to get me 11x squared. And what's this? 2x, agreed? Right? Plus 6y, correct? Now, is everybody happy with that? That's right, but it's not done. Why?
Because it can be factored again.
Is there a number that goes into 2 and 6? Is there a number that goes into 2 and 6? So remember what I said in your notes? It might factor again. So we're going to take a 2 out of here, which means what's going to the front? 2, what's already there? So what do we get? 22. 22x squared. Don't erase it. Just divide this section by 2. And what's there? 2x divided by 2 is x. 6y divided by 2 is 3y. Is everybody cool? Now, a bunch of you are going to say, I did it wrong. No, this question would be out of 2, and you would have gotten 1 out of 2, which is still passing. And hopefully, by seeing it here, where it's not hurting you, you will internalize it and have it ready in your mathematical toolbox when it can hurt you. All right, C. What's my common denominator? Common factor. 8C. Right? So what goes on the outside? 8C. What goes in the middle? Minus 2D squared plus 7CD4 bracket. Huh? All right. What's common to D? 5. Any letters? No. 5's out here. 1 minus 2Z minus 3Z squared. Done. Cool. Cool? Why? Because you said it cancels, so it disappears, right? But that's not what canceling is. If you didn't write the 1, you should have checked. If there's no 1 there, It's 5 times that. It's negative 10z. Where's the 5? Right? That's why I don't like doing that cancel-y thing where you just cross it out. That's why I go out of my way to explain. You're dividing. Remember when we did all our exponent stuff? I made you guys write it out so you could do that. Right? That's why. Can I do E and F now? What's common? 3. G plus 2. What's common? 4D. 2, not 2D. 2 plus 3D. 3D, just 3D. Everybody good? Those two are going to have fight back there. Okay. All right, now, here is this equation. I want you to factor it. Notice there's no numbers. What is in both of them? Pi and how many r's? 1. So what goes on the outside? Surface area equals pi r, and what goes on the brackets? R plus S. The answers. Easy peasy, right? Well, radius is 5 centimeters. Radius is 5, so there's my R. Slant is 2, there's my S, right? So what goes in for this first R? 5. And what goes in for R plus S? 5 plus 2. What is 5 plus 2? 7 times 5 times pi. What's 7 times 5? 35. So the answer is 35 pies. No, just 35 pi. We're in grade 10 now. We don't need decimals. Decimals are for grade 6s. Good? And then this is just expanding that we've already practiced. Is everyone okay? Now, listen to me. These two allow you to use the shortcut. Actually, those 3 allow you to use the shortcut. But you've got to do it right. Okay? The shortcut is add, then multiply. So it's x squared. What's negative 3 plus 5? Positive 2x. Negative 3 times 5, negative 15. This one, no shortcut. What's the answer? 6x squared minus 8xy. Shortcut here? Yes or no? Yes. X squared. What do I do with 2 and 4? Add them first to get 6x, then multiply them to get what? 8. Shortcut here? Yeah. What do I do with them first? Add them. Negative 4 plus negative 2, negative 6x. Negative 4 times negative 2. Negative times a negative? Positive 8. Is everybody good with level 1 of polynomials? Yeah? Do you feel you need more practice exclusively with GCF and expansion, or are you feeling good? You are feeling good? All right. Then I am going to... What? You need some more? Okay. Okay. You guys have no blank space left in your books because we go right in. Or do you have a blank on 109? Does 109 stop? No? Damn it. Okay, so just do a few in your head. GCF that. Oh. How about I give you a couple that were like that 22 and 66 one where you used 11 but you needed to do it again. Let's do one of them. If you can do those two, you're ready for GC. You're done with GCFing. You know how to do it. And don't worry, you're going to get more practice as we do the other kinds of factoring as well. But if you can do those two, even in your head, like without even writing it down, you're good at GCFing. Yo.
Y squared.
I get that, it's like the greatest factor 7. I get that, but how do I use the letter part? I don't get that.
How many letters does this guy have? He's got 2 X's. So what's the greatest amount of X's he can give away? 2. What's the greatest amount he can give away? What's the greatest amount he can give away? 1. So that means 1 X is the most I can take out. What's the Y's here? Y's here? Y's here? So how many Y's can I do? 3. No, because this guy only has 1. Then I rewrite it. GCF out here, and then all the answers. 14 divided by 7 is 2. X2 over X is 1X. Y3 over Y is 2 Y's. Plus 3. 21 divided by 7, then the X and the Y's cancel out. Minus 9. X's cancel out, and 1Y squared. Because 3 minus 1 is 2. Now in this one, the reason I wrote this way is because most of you are going to say 5 there. Right? And A, B, 3. Right? Most of you will say 5 because you're good with your times tables up to about 10. So if you do that, 5ab cubed, you get 9a squared b3 minus 12, right?
Yeah.
Now, look at that. 9 and 12.
But we just did it like.
What is it? 3. So I got to take out another 3. What's already here? So there's a 3 out there now, so what do I get? 15ab cubed. And then in here, 9 divided by 3 is 3a squared b3 minus 4. Okay? Now, when I do this, because I've done a lot more, I'm better with my times tables than you guys, I would have done 15 right away. Just like in that other question, you could have done 22 right away, because 22 goes into 22 and it goes into 66. So I would have done 15 right away. That's why I went out of my way to say, always check this, because it might factor again. Right now, the only thing you can do with that is GCF it again. But as we get later on, this might look like a different form that can be factored with a different method. So you made GCF, and then you may have to factor this with a different method, and you'll get a different answer. Okay? Which one was bad? The second one? Did you get the 5 right? Did you use 5?
Yeah.
Okay, so then you got to this. You got to this spot, right? Right? Then you didn't do the 3, because you just got to check with 9 and 12. Right? And then once you saw 9 and 12, you do the 3, and you remember a 3 comes out, you're already at a 15 out there. Because that's just like square rooting, right, Brianna? When we square root, if we have like 2 square root of 24, and you bring out the 2, there's already a 2 there, so we multiply. Same thing here. I'm bringing out a 3, there's already a 5 there, so I multiply. Okay? Oh, and I recorded all that, so even the extra stuff. So even that's going to be on the video if you choose to watch.